everyone. My name is Mandy, and we are giving you a joint presentation. Thank you so much for coming all today. It's our first talk of this kind. Hopefully we'll have many more in the coming years. And yeah, we are the team from the Creative Augmented Realities Hub. And as we have only 10 minutes for all of us, I will just give you a really brief overview of our previous and current projects. So our first project was back in 2013 in collaboration with Dublin Institute of Technology and Alex Gibson over there, who will talk later on, and Dublin City Council. And for that project, we developed a basic AR application called Dublin AR, and the application aimed to enhance the experience of tourists visiting the Independence Trail in Dublin. So that was really the first project focusing on Android-based mobile applications. For the second project, we moved on to Manchester, and we created the first Google Glass augmented reality application for Manchester Art Gallery. We worked together with an app developer from California. And what we really tried to test is how Google Glass can enhance the learning experience of visitors coming to the gallery. So we tested the learning experience using the generic learning outcomes framework, and had people who visited the gallery with and those without the Google Glass application, and found that those visitors who had the Google Glass application saw more connections between the paintings. It was easier for them to memorize everything they saw after the experience, so they really knew all the major minor details of what they've seen. There was enhanced interaction and enhanced enjoyment. So that was really the main findings we had of using Google Glass in galleries. After that, we said, where else can we go? I mean, we've been to Dublin, been to Manchester, so going south. So we went to Cornwall and developed an AR application and VR application using Samsung Gear VR for Giver Tinmay Museum, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And Ella will mention a bit more about this in a moment's time. And yeah, we developed a prototype with using mobile-based again and Samsung Gear VR. And just recently, we started a project with Manchester Jewish Museum with Alex, who is here as well today. And in that project now, we want to focus on gamification. At the moment, we are developing a demonstrator for that. It's being tested in January next year, early next year. And the aim or the main target market will be school children. So how can we enhance the learning experience through gamification? That's a big question. So now I'm passing on to Dario. We'll talk about the implementation challenges.
Right. So I mostly deal with technology, so that was a great demonstration we just had about what the stuff is that I do. But I want to talk to you about three main things, really. Mandy mentioned that we started a couple of years ago, so really one of the first questions we had to ask ourselves is what hardware are we going to use, and that proved to be relatively challenging. Initially we started off with mobiles in Dublin because really there wasn't anything else out there, and then when Google announced Google Glass, we're like, yep, that's going to be it, and it was the greatest gadget and the greatest disappointment that came out. So thanks to John and our faculty, we actually purchased 4 of those, and thank God we did, because they soon became obsolete and essentially no longer be able to buy. And this was our problem. We asked ourselves, what are we going to use? And to be fair, the challenge is still there. Pasi mentioned it about what kind of technologies they are using and they're experimenting with. I've seen a couple of you out there with the project and from the industry. And really the question still stands at this point in time is what hardware are we going to use for this idea of augmented reality and also virtual reality? Now we work with mobiles, we work with Google Glass, we went back to mobiles and tablets simply because at the moment there isn't anything really out there. So that challenge for us is still there, and if anyone has any solutions in that regard, please come and approach me. The second element is the development process. For us, we approach things mostly from a conceptual point of view. So we try to find out what makes it acceptable, what people think, what the usage requirements and usage behaviors are with the technology. And therefore, we can't develop, or we don't develop our own stuff. We worked, as Mandy said, with developers in California when Google Glass came out, because that's the only place where actually anyone knew how to code Android for Google Glass. We work with partners in the university, we work with students in the university, and we work with also partners just outside with the university. But the development process for us is really a challenge because A, it's difficult and costly to do so, but second of all, also because augmented reality and virtual reality isn't as far spread as a simple application that you can essentially get built anywhere around if you look around. So the development process for us is always a major challenge. And then finally, the concept of augmented reality. This is something that actually we struggled with, because to us it was clear what augmented reality is and what works on a certain hardware that we have. But really when we go and speak to outside people, if they're not particularly aware or ingrained in the field, this concept of augmented reality was a dinosaur stomping through Manchester city centre. And yep, you're going to build that for me and for my particular venue and attraction. And that's, again, wasn't possible. A, because of the hardware, and B, also because of the development resources. So we struggle a little bit with making sure that people understand what augmented reality is and how it can be used, and that it's not necessarily best to have a huge dinosaur or videos stomping through Manchester city centre, but really managing expectations. So those are a couple of challenges that we encountered throughout all of the projects that we currently worked on. And then lastly, obviously, is this idea of making sure that people understand why they should engage with augmented reality. So something that we started looking at is the business model for augmented reality, which Ella will talk about.
So as Amanda mentioned earlier, Givor is a UNESCO cultural heritage attraction based in Cornwall. We're really working with them. They're looking at overcoming some of the challenges that they're facing as faced by other attractions. So they're looking at a more sustainable source of revenue and income, and also how they can maintain that authenticity and personal experiences. So one of the main challenges that they have miners that actually worked in the mine, and once they're not working there anymore, they still need that personal interaction that people can really relate to. So we're looking at AR as a method to help achieve this. However, we've identified that there's currently no business model for AR implementation, which is really kind of delaying widespread implementation. The benefits and potential of AR are really widely acknowledged and recognised, but we're really looking at how you can actually implement it and make it in reality. So by developing a business model, help ensure the competitiveness of attractions, so ensure the longevity, and also encourage to look at more holistic overview. So you're really working out how the value of AR can be translated across each level, be that to the visitors through an enhanced experience, or to helping the staff maintain like efficiency of the daily activities, and also as revenue, so you can link the experience, visitor experience, to the cafe or shop, so it's driving increased sales. So really we're just trying to make sure that by developing a business model you don't lose out on the potential that AR represents, and you really can make it a workable reality. And I'll pass you over to Timothy.
Right, so as you can see, we've been spending about 4 or 5 years. Initially, we looked at it's more augmented development side. So what is the user requirements, how we can design the augmented reality application, both mobile and wearable device. So what is the best way to design? So I think we did a lot of research to collect data from the from the experiments. And then one of the things we identified with that was the, even though there's a demand, it's a great idea. However, if there's no business model, which Ella mentioned, then unfortunately the industry is not ready to invest. I think that is a real kind of a challenge. Okay, so as we know, the augmented reality is a great tool to bring history in hidden things to life. Fantastic, immediate, okay? And however, no business model means no uses. And no use cases, that's the problem, okay? So that's how we start to look at all the business model, and then actually, can this technology is useful for business or users? That is one of the main questions. This came from the kind of many interview with the industry people. Okay, so I'm just showing this slide which I presented at as a keynote speaker at Oxford University. Anjanesh invited me to speak about this. This is a business experience model. Okay, so. In reality, there are many different technologies could be used according to visitation cycle. So before they come to any attractions, and while they are there, and as post experience as well. So we talked about various different technologies available. However, my interest, I mean, recently, okay, we look at the development side, the user experience, but, without business plan, we can't do it. But my question is how we can capitalize this experience to buy, means contribute to the income generation. Yes, AR is great technology for the great experience, but how can you actually turn around for the real value? Okay, most museums and galleries, they are focusing on two very important things: business numbers and income generation. So I think we are testing this theoretical model in a number of different projects for the past 4 or 5 years, and we are testing 3D printing idea and multisensory idea with a party in Finland. So we'll test this model, okay, continuously. And I think we are very kind of welcome to work with any academics industry. One of the things that we are doing here, working with Barclay, I think Rick is here, we're trying to actually prove, we do some couple of proof concept, actually developing using augmented reality for the donation or purchasing. Okay? So we have developed some kind of AR application for donation. So many museum art galleries, people can scan it, and then they can see one of the short videos or information, and they move into the kind of payment solution like Barclays Ping it, and then they give the amount of money, £5, and pay it. So I think we are actually looking at this area at the moment. That is the current status of our team, what we are doing at the moment. So we are happy to collaborate any industry partners and academics. Okay, thank you.